Hello, this is the Big Bear Butt, and I'm going to be narrating the first 6 portals of Heroic Violet Hold for you. This is something new I'm going to try just for fun. I've had a lot of people mail in and ask me how I generate threat off the bat, how do I keep people from pulling aggro off of me, and how my bars are set up, things like that. Instead of trying to do a post where I describe it all, I thought I'd let you see firsthand. First thing you can tell is I'm a clicker and I'm a keyboard turner while I'm clicking and repositioning. The second thing you can see is my quick marks add-on is not up right now. I started the fight right after inviting different people in the guild, switching around, doing all sorts of crazy stuff in the guild. Launched in here, buffed up, started the fight and went, shoot, I'm going to have to deal with that, aren't I? So this guy gets down, single pull off the rubble pile. One of the things you can tell for how I take care of these guys is when I start on a single target at one of these portals, I know that there are going to be ads coming afterwards that follow a specific path every time. I always position myself where I can anticipate the ads will come, so they're going to be running right through me and give me a chance to get my swipe on them. So on those portals that have one single ad, I jump right on top of them and I really unload on them with my single target attacks for a couple of seconds, and then I switch predominantly to maul and swipe to be able to make sure I pick up any ads that come running down past them. They're going to have to get through me to get to the door. On these squads, again, I would normally have quick marks up and I would mark a skull on the first kill target. I wouldn't worry about marking anybody else, just throwing up a skull on the first one. There's these guys that bubble themselves and who can stun you. There's the sorcerers who have that mind flay and are squishy, and there's the stalkers that will teleport behind whoever has the high aggro. I always mark the sorcerers as the first kill target because they're squishy and they're out of the way fast and they love to go after ranged, and I'll take care of the stalkers last because if you really lay down some good swiping AoE on the group, then by the time he teleports behind you, he's out of your hair, but he's not going to get global aggro on the healer, and so you can focus on getting the other purely melee trash down first. Now on these single pulls, again, you can see that I kind of went up the stairs, I did a fairy fire, I got some initial threat, drug him back down the stairs so that it was easy line of sight for everybody, and it gave me a little bit more window to see when the ads were coming down so I could make sure I swiped them, just like I did right there. Get a little bit of that nice red splash look to them when I get that swipe on them. On this particular run, it's not a good example of squads because we had a lot of single pulls. One of the little quirks about this place is every portal spawn location is always the same kind of trash. It's always either a single pull or it's a squad. Now you can see I've got quick marks up there. I use that for a nice quick on the fly grabbing of whoever's going to be my first kill target, throw a skull over his head. That way I don't have to mess around with right clicking or anything. You can also see that, like I said, when I grab him and drag him down, I get him into line of sight of the healers. I try and keep the healers from having to position as much as possible. But then I throw down a couple of big damage dealing mangles, lacerates, get some of that stuff up real quick. Then I'll pop swipes and mauls to gather up that trash and stay there until the trash is dead, unless I've got some good threat on him and figure that the DPS can finish him up a little bit while I run over. This is another location. It's always a single pull, and you can see that I kind of jink in there that corner because I know that the trash that comes out of that portal after this guy is going to be run right through me. You might not even ever see him come up because that portal's right there, the big guy's right there, but I'm there and I'm doing a lot of swipes and mauls and I'm gathering in a lot of stuff. You won't even see if the trash is there until the big guy is dead, and then suddenly you're still fighting a couple of things that were inside of him. Okay, now as soon as this guy's dead, we got Portal 6, we got the boss coming up. And you can see Deadly Boss Mods is giving me a nice heads up, boss incoming. Okay, so who we got? Looks like we got the guy we're going to be kiting over the balcony. Ain't that fun. He's one of the two guys that most people think are fun. The second one is the Voidwalker or Blueberry. This guy's actually a pushover if you know what the gimmick is. And that is that he has to be kited up and down the balcony out of line of sight of the spheres they summons. So here we are. Everybody you can see ran ahead of my path of travel on the balcony. I picked him up here We do a whole bunch of DPS. I do as much large threat generating abilities as I can right here. He's summoning his spheres. After he summons the spheres, you give him a couple seconds. They're heading towards you. You turn around and you just run straight away from them. I've got a couple of pause points I like to use. I get them to here. I stop. I give the melee a chance to catch up and get a lot more DPS down on them, build up a lot more threat on them. Then I'm going to drag him again. You can see I've got it timed just about right. The sphere's right there. I get hung up on the rebel pile. That's all my fault. Normally I would have been a lot further ahead. I drag him completely over, out of line of sight of that sphere, to this part of the balcony. Now the sphere will despawn in a couple of seconds. We're going to pound him to death right here. The sphere will despawn. He'll stand here. We're going to continue to hurt him. He'll start casting more spheres, but by the time they're up, by the time they get a chance to get to us, he's dead. I hope you're going to join me for the second part of this. I'm hoping it's going to be more fun. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, guys. Booyah.